The London-based visual artist Helga Stentzel is known for creating whimsical works using everyday items, a style that she calls household surrealism. From a cute puppy made of lettuce to a horse composed of clothes hanging on a wash line, she uses mundane items to create something new and challenge what the viewer is seeing. And Korean art lovers have been getting a chance to experience that through her first exhibition in Seoul on view at the CXC Art Museum. To catch a glimpse into her creative mind, she joins us now via video call for Touch Base in Seoul. Ms. Stentzel, hello, and it's great to have you on the show today.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Oh, should I say good afternoon?
Yes, in Korea it is the evening, but yes, good morning in the UK. Okay, so I gave a brief description of what you do, but can you introduce for our listeners and viewers in your own words the works, your works and what you do and how you became a visual artist as well?
Oh, I've been seeing things and drawing things since I was about 5 years old. And, as a child, I would be in bed looking at my carpet, looking at the floor, next to my bed, and I would be seeing things. I would be seeing dragons in the patterns of the carpet, and I would be seeing creatures in the knots of the wood. And it took me another 20 years to actually believe that this might be interesting to other people and to start sharing that on my social media. But yeah, I've been drawing ever since I was very little.
Right, so it's always been in you. You've had a creative and imaginative mind ever since you were young then. But it seems like from what you're saying, you had perhaps the spark of surrealism in your works ever since you were young as well then.
Oh, yes. And as Breton defines surrealism, it's a movement that aims to release the potential of subconscious mind. So I guess I was always trying to see more, and my subconsciousness was telling me that there definitely is more magic and more wonder in everyday life. And I have to say that my childhood wasn't particularly exciting. I used to spend a lot of time in the village with my grandmother, and we only had 2 TV channels to watch, and she didn't have any books or magazines to read at all. So I learned to entertain myself from a very young age. And I think my subconsciousness was just telling me, look, Helga, you need to start doing something for yourself. Otherwise, it's just too boring. So I guess, this is what my mind did to help me survive in those conditions.
Right, so in your mind, you created a space, I guess, for find some sort of escape from your early life. And so you are best known now for turning everyday household objects into playful characters and scenes, especially with your surrealist spin on common household items, such as clothing items, kitchen utensils, books, and even bread. They're all brought to life. How did this form of art start for you?
You mentioned escaping from reality, but here I have to slightly disagree. In order to escape from reality, you also need to be present in reality 100%, because it is by being present and looking very carefully at what was in front of me and what still is in front of me. It is only by doing that that I can discover those magical worlds, those magical creatures. So to me, it is really about paying attention to what's around and really appreciating it all and taking it all in. And for me, it's a meditation, almost like I sit down without an intention to see something. I always sit down and all I want is just to look at things. And I always say that I stare at things longer than socially acceptable, and that annoys my family a lot. In a restaurant setting particularly, I might just stare at a slice of bread for minutes. But yeah, this is where it begins. I think I'm just genuinely fascinated by colors, textures and shapes of the world around us. And once I take a closer look at something, I might see something else in the end. It's not always the case, but it's always
Sure.
time very well spent for me.
Sure, but what was the first work? Where did it start for you? This journey as an artist for the
Well,
household surrealism.
one of the first works which I think really started my path as an artist was Perfect Fit. It's an image of a corn shot next to some pieces of Lego with a little Lego head inside. I
Hmm.
think this was where I realized that actually I'm onto something interesting on my social media, and I'm beginning to build something, like I'm beginning to build an exciting new path for myself, because I used to work in art all the time, in art design, advertising. Like, I've been in creative industries all my life, and it was only about 7 years ago that I realized that I could be doing things on my own independently as an artist.
Sure, I think I saw that work on your website. It is a piece of corn on the cob, but the kernels are Lego heads, right? In the shape of Lego heads.
Yeah.
You're right. It is quite arresting. So, can you tell us a bit about the process? So, you said you sit down and stare at objects. So, it kind of comes naturally then, your inspiration. So, it's less more about finding inspiration rather than perhaps strict planning.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I have a sketchbook full of notes and little drawings. So when I have a moment later, I might say, yes, now I want to properly photograph this idea, or start looking for clothes to execute that idea. But it all starts with an observation, which then goes onto a piece of paper or in my sketchbook. And then someday, when I think that the idea is strong, or when I think that it's fitting, I might just make it happen and photograph it. And the process can be quite long, especially with clothesline animals, because very often I need to source a particular clothing item to make sure that it looks exactly as I imagined. And it can take weeks, it can take months even. So it's a bit unpredictable with clothesline animals, but I love it. I love the process. I love the constant creative search. I think it's great.
Right, so the inspiration comes randomly, but the work you put into it afterwards is a very focused project. Then it sounds like the works
Yeah,
they're really delightful. I think they bring a
thank you.
smile to the viewer when look at it, and it just makes people also wonder how you come up with such ideas. Your photo exhibition is currently being held in Seoul, and it will run through March 1st. Can you give us more details about this exhibition?
Oh, it's a wonderful exhibition. It's a fantastic space. I think it's over 600 square meters. It's beautiful. And what was interesting for me is that it's held in an exhibition space inside of a shopping mall. We don't have anything like that in the UK. We have proper museums and galleries here. And there it's so nice that people can just run around, watch a movie, and then go and see an exhibition with their children.
Mm.
It just makes it so much easier, and it makes it very accessible. And this is what my art is about. What I'm trying to say with what I do is art is everywhere. We just need to really take a moment and appreciate it. So, yeah, I would be really happy if our viewers today go and see the exhibition, because the team in Seoul have put a lot of effort into making it as beautiful as it is.
Yes, I believe the exhibition has been on view since November. What was it like to be in Seoul to see that exhibition opening, and what's the reaction been like so far?
Oh, it was for me. It was such a treat to come to Seoul. The time of the year was perfect. I love autumn, and those, red, orange, yellow trees. They were amazing, and I love the people. And I think everything was wonderful. The food was delightful, and this was the very first time that I came to Seoul. So I think I'm still a little bit overwhelmed, and I can't really say, I can't really name one thing that amazed me most. I think it was a just delightful experience all in all. And it was wonderful to meet so many visitors. It was particularly nice to meet little children and do workshops with them where they could build their own clothesline animals. Yeah, it was very nice.
Well, I'm glad you had a great time in Korea. What do you hope viewers in Korea and also elsewhere, what do you hope they take away from your works and your exhibition?
I really hope that they find the exhibition inspiring, and not just the artworks, but also the idea that art is all around us. And I hope that the visitors and the viewers can slow down a little bit and really appreciate their surroundings, and maybe, you know, with their next cup of tea or coffee, they can just sit down and have a look at a slice of bread or a pile of napkins or wood knots in their table and notice something. And that would be the best gift for me.
Yes, sometimes in this busy lives of ours, we perhaps forget to just pause and stare at things and let our minds wander for new creative ideas as well, I guess. Well, people in Korea will be able to appreciate and enjoy works at the CXC Art Museum in Seoul until March 1st. We are out of time, so we'll have to wrap it up there. Ms. Stentzel, thank you once again for your time today, and we hope the rest of the show goes well as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.